Bill, and this is Josh. And our talk is called Blended Threats of JavaScript, a plan for permanent network compromise. And pretty much what our talk is about is taking web-based attacks to the next level and seeing how far you can actually go with them. It was said earlier that one of the top HTML5 based attacks is CSRF, so we're kind of going in depth with that and seeing how far you can actually go. And we're going to show how you can actually get to the point of replacing an operating system on a network device and taking complete control of it so that you always have access to that device information.
There's been a lot of awesome previous research into various JavaScript-based attacks that can be done using enumeration or various other attack techniques. So what we aim to do is take all of those things and put them together in a comprehensive case study that shows how something with minimal or zero user interaction can ultimately end up in actually compromising a network device. And in addition to all the previous technologies that were previously discovered, we'd like to introduce a new mechanism of actually being able to interact with network devices for ultimate persistence and then replication throughout not only the network, but also potentially throughout the global network. Everyone who might have access to a compromised device, and then the code would then self-propagate.
There's a few things that we'll show that I've never seen before and haven't heard anything out there before, so they're pretty powerful attacks. And we're definitely building off of a lot of the old research and kind of combining it in ways that it makes it new.
Any questions?
When you say network devices, you're talking, firewalls, routers, Puviance switches, or something else?
Exactly. And multi-function printers.
Devices where you're getting access without password or user authentication, where it was just unclear.
So there's a lot of ways to get around it because we found that a lot of these devices have some sort of vulnerability. A lot of times it's in the case of a default password, but we can actually we have a case that we can demonstrate brute forcing password guessing across the network using CSRF.
And then in addition to that, if there are existing web application vulnerabilities such as cross-site scripting, even if the password has been changed to one suitably complex, we can still leverage specific device vulnerabilities to then bypass the login. So it's not just relying on default passwords, although that certainly does expedite the process.
And also those types of devices don't necessarily get updated all that often.
Correct.
Exactly.
So,
And because they're purpose-built, they often don't have a lot of memory, a lot of built-in log management, etc. And when the attack is executed properly, it's relatively transparent to the user. So they may not realize they've been compromised until the end of the refresh cycle, or until it's far too late, and then they've lost all of their corporate secrets, intellectual property, etc.
I'd say that's one of the things that makes it so scary is these devices don't have antivirus on them to protect anything like that. So how do you even know that you've been compromised?
Is there a particular networking vendor or device? Because it's a broad category. Is it Cisco? Is it Linksys? Is it D-Link?
We've demonstrated with a specific device, but the whole concept can apply to pretty much any device.
Do you detail ways in which you recommend investing in the problem?
Absolutely. So there's a small handful of mitigation techniques that the end user can do, but there's also requirements that we think that these product vendors need to seriously consider and make sure that going forward they don't have to rely as much on the user being able to take their own step to secure their devices.
There's evidence that the vendors have pretty much ignored these issues for a long